Jevon McFerrin and Sophina Brown star in 20s on BET, which is based on the journey of Lena Waithe, who is our Chicago powerhouse there. Sophina, let me go ahead and first let me ask you, what was it like when you first read the script and to be a part of this journey of the show?
Oh, when I first read the pilot, I was so excited to audition for this. My character, Ida B, in the pilot script, just does a complete 180 on Hattie, and they wrote it so well. Lena I was so excited to say these words and to be a part of a show that I knew was going to be a hit. I knew it. I could tell.
Now, Jevon, let me ask you the same question, because your journey with Hattie on the show is a little different than Ida B's character. Tell us a little bit about that and taking on this role on 20s.
Yeah, Chuck is the fiance to Marie, who's one of the three friends, one of the main people of the show. And he's just like a really great supportive guy, but he also has his own secrets and own truths that he has to face. And we actually get to dive into that in season 2, which I thought was really, really cool. And we just really represent what a relationship can be. So I'm happy about the way that it's being written. I'm happy that it's starting conversations. I'm happy that I get to work with phenomenal people. When I saw Lena Waithe's name attached to it, I definitely was very nervous in the beginning, because she is such an amazing, powerful presence. But she's really down to earth when it gets down to the work. So it felt really, really comfortable when I joined the project.
Now, since you just brought it up, let's talk about Chuck and Marie. Obviously, a lot of marriage issues and relationships in your 20s are tough. Did you get a lot of people reaching out to you on social media with maybe some of their own journeys towards, relationships in their 20s?
I've read a lot of comments when it's come to social media platforms like Twitter or Instagram, and people are just really happy that Chuck and Marie are having honest conversations. I had a conversation with the writer of episode 3, Ladarian Smith, and he DM'd me and said that a lot of people were talking to him and starting conversations that he wished he had with them years before. So I'm just happy that if me and Christina are a vehicle for people in their 20s or different relationship styles to be able to have open, real communication, I'm happy to be, a part of that. So that's what's been really great for me to see, the people that have enjoyed the work, have enjoyed the storytelling, and it makes them want to have conversations about themselves and their own stories.
Oh, exactly. I mean, if you're in your 20s or, later on, and, those honest conversations is what make this show so powerful. Sophina, I do want to ask you, as far as the character of Ida B, obviously I'm assuming that it's, the name is based on Ida B. Wells, who was a civil rights leader, a powerful journalist here that means so much, especially in our Chicagoland area. Tell us a little bit about the name of the character, and what did Lena say as far as, what that meant to her?
We never discussed the name of the character. I'll be completely honest with you. I have my theories. There's definitely a tie-in to Ida B. Wells, but there's also something interesting about what that sounds like, Ida B. And so that's something that I take with me in terms of what I'm representing as Ida B in the industry that I am in, what I've had to do to get ahead, how I have maintained a certain position in Hollywood as this kind of studio head and producer. I think that Ida B, you see that she has navigated this industry and this kind of terrain very differently than Hattie. And she definitely has set a very high set of standards, and there's a sense of propriety with Ida B, and there's a line that she will not cross until she has to with Hattie in order to be in the type of relationship that she has wanted to be in all of her life. And so I think that's what's really interesting about season 2, is that you get to see Ida B start to make some sacrifices that under normal circumstances, she probably wouldn't make, but it speaks to Hattie's authenticity and how much love she has for Hattie.
Hattie and Ida B are a little bit at a crossroads right now, so I'm excited to see where the rest of the season takes us.
Yes, you have to stay tuned because
Yeah.
things get a little dicey.
Things are going to get a little dicey. That's why we stay tuned. Jevon, I do
Dicey.
want to ask you two other questions. During your time on Hamilton, what was the craziest like celebrity that was in the audience or they got to go backstage? Do you have a favorite story you'd like to tell?
Oh, I mean, I met a lot of people. Okay, here's a cool story. So when I lived in Minnesota, we went to go see Lion King at the pre-Broadway run, and it was starring Chris Jackson at the time. And Chris Jackson was a huge fan of my dad's, and so he came out, he met us, da 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 da. Fast forward to me booking Hamilton, being in the show, going around the building, being introduced, and I meet Chris Jackson, and then he finds me later that day, and he says, "I remember you. I'm going to age myself. June of 1996, you and your father came into the lobby to see Lion King." And I thought it was amazing because now I'm sharing the stage with somebody who I was obsessed with when I first saw the show. So the first time I did the show, I was Lafayette and I was seen with him as George Washington. And the whole time I was just trying not to mess up because one, it's a really hard rap, but two, I was looking at somebody who I just was enthralled with them when I saw them on stage as Simba. So that's, for me, that's one of my personal favorite stories. There's been a lot of people that have come to Hamilton. It's an amazing show. There's too many people that have come for me to narrow it down. So I'll tell that story because that one was just a very full circle, meaningful moment for myself.
Otherwise, this would be a 2-hour conversation, so that and then since you mentioned about your dad, I was in grade school at the time when "Don't Worry, Be Happy" was, the a number one song and a Grammy Award winning song. What was it like growing up in the household, with that motto? I mean, everyone had T-shirts in grade school, with that, and I mean, it was just such a powerful, pop, phenomenon.
I mean, for me, it was kind of normal for me growing up. Only I was 3, I was 2, 3. The song came out in 87, so 87, nominated in 88. So I was 2, 3 years old. So like, I kind of grew up in the height of my dad's fame, but my dad was always my dad. He never was like, "Oh, I'm famous, so I'm not, I'm going to go do this." My dad, when he was home, he was home. He drove us to school. He poured the cereal out. My dad is an amazing dad. And I wouldn't have traded my experience for anything. He also taught me what hard work was, that I wasn't handed a lot of things. If there was something that I wanted, I had to work for it. So I'm really happy that my parents didn't, give me any type of silver spoon type of situation. But my dad is just he's an amazing man. He's an amazing role model. And he's definitely one of my heroes.
Oh my goodness. And you both are amazing. Sophina, Jevon, thank you so much for your time today. 20s airs Wednesdays on BET.